Hi everyone, I put together a two-sided scrapbook page not too long ago, and I knew I was going to do some mixed media on it, so I went ahead and added some clear gesso. I wanted the background of the image to show through pretty well. I didn't want to mute that, but I also wanted to make sure that the wet media had a chance to dry on top of the page as opposed to soaking into the page. It gives a little bit of a different look when the media is able to soak into the page versus drying on top of the page, and drying on top of the page was the look that I was going for. These papers that I'm mounting the photos on, I don't remember which collection they're from. I'm not sure if they're Prima or not. I'm inclined to think probably, at least the one on the right, probably not. The one on the left might be from an older Prima collection. I didn't film myself die cutting the gears. These are from the Tim Holtz Gears collection, and the florals are from Garden Greens, and I just cut them out of some scraps of paper that I had in my stash. Now, this stencil is a Prima Marketing stencil. I think it's just called Damask, and I am stenciling Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist in key lime pie. Through that stencil using a stencil brush, sprayed some on a piece of plastic and dipped the stencil brush in there and stenciled. It's a little unusual for using a mist that way, but it gave me greater control over where the mist ended up. Not a lot more control, but just a little bit more control. Next, I grabbed Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist in Sunshine, and I gave up the stenciling with a stencil brush because it just didn't give me as much more control as I wanted, and I just ended up spraying through the stencil. And one of the cool things about stencils is, especially if you've sprayed through it with a wet media, is you can flip it over and use it as kind of a stamp and use the negative elsewhere on your layout, which is kind of cool. Now, this stamp is from Prima Marketing and it's called Almanac, and it's just a cute little kind of stamp. It makes great texture. The stencil I grabbed here is a Prima Marketing stencil. I love my Prima Marketing stencils, and I don't remember which doily this is, but I do know that you can find it on scrapbook.com. And here I've taken some Heidi Swapp texture paste, and I think it's just the white texture paste. Might be like a pearl texture paste, and I added some color bloom spray in I think it's berry wine. I think that was the color that I used, and just mixed it up with a palette knife, just because I wanted that kind of pinky purple texture paste, which I don't have, but I did have white, and you blend anything with white. And I'm just putting some in different areas over the layout. I knew kind of where I was going to put my pictures down, and I just added some texture paste as a base for embellishing. And after I added this, I ended up leaving it to sit overnight to dry, but I'm not going to ask you guys to wait that long. So through the magic of editing, it'll be dry and ready to go here in just a sec. obviously this is the next day, and I've matted the house image on another sheet of paper, and I actually want to go ahead and pop it up a little bit because I do want to stick some things underneath it. So that's just some Dollar Tree craft foam that you get like 20 of them for $1. And I just use that to give it a little bit of elevation so I can fit some embellishments underneath. And when I die cut these embellishments, I chose colors. I chose green and a kind of an earth tone paper to die cut them out of, to kind of complement that pink. And that bingo card tag, I found that at a Tuesday morning, and I'm not sure what collection that's part of, but I went ahead and distressed or inked the outer edges of the card, and I'm going to use that bottom of the card on the other side just to kind of give a visual connection between the two. And here I am just kind of laying out the different pieces. I'm not going to make you watch all of that I did, figuring out where I wanted different things to go. Now I've got everything stuck down, and I went ahead and I added some Nuvo Tonic drops. I think that's a lime green, I think. They dry kind of clear, so they just look like little green crystals sitting on top of my layout. Aside to dry, and that's going to have to dry overnight again because of the crystal drops. And I'm working on the other side of the page. This layout is of a trip that my husband and I took earlier this year to a place called Monument Hill and Crusher Brewery in Central Texas. It's in LaGrange, Texas. And the Crusher Brewery is just this old ruins, really, of a brewery. They've got great hiking trails that lead down to the ruins of the brewery, and the Crusher house is still standing, and you can tour it. And we did. That's the first time we've toured that house, but it's the second time that we've been to the brewery. And we had a really good time, and I wanted to scrapbook about it. So again, I'm adding the same set of embellishments to this page as I added to the last page, just to kind of keep things uniform across a 2-page spread. And I'm going to return you to music. Nuvo drops to, this page is going to end up on the left, and it's going to have to sit aside and dry overnight. So through the magic of editing, once again, the Nuvo drops are dry, and I realized that the mixed media didn't quite stand out as much as I wanted it to. So I thought I would go ahead and add some, these are Prima Sparks, I think that's unicorn something or other. A lovely, lovely pink, but I watered it down, and I'm just applying it kind of in the grooves of that stencil with a watercolor brush, actually. And it's just helping the mixed media just pop just a little bit more. It also helped the embellishments, the gears and the florals stand out against the background a little bit more than they already did. I'm going to line the pages up side by side because I'm going to run the title across both pages just to help with the unity of the layout, and I'm going to stamp the phrase "Ye Olde Brew" with an E on the end of old in that's Ranger Archival Plum, and the alphas that I'm using are from MS Sparkle & Company, the Joann's Bargain brand. So I got Ye Olde on the left side and Brew there on the right. And I decided to add my journaling lines with a pencil this time. So I'm using a T-square and a charcoal pencil to just make my journaling lines. Thank you very much for joining me for this layout, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.